Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here and welcome to DCS World 2.5.6 and Razbam Sim's AV8B Harrier module. Today we're going to do a short field takeoff from a FARP. This is a follow-on tutorial from tutorial number 1 in the Harrier, which was a FARP startup without ground power. So we're at exactly the position we were at the end of the previous video. We're sitting on the pad, ready to taxi. So let's continue with our taxi to the grass field at the back of the FARP. So I'm just going to look down here towards my throttle quadrant, and there's a click area just in front of the quadrant that says parking brake lever. Now just be aware that when you disengage your parking brake, the aircraft will start to taxi in many cases without you applying any throttle. It does tend to taxi on ground idle. So let's click that.
Caution.
And then bring our head up, and yes, straight away we can see that we are starting to taxi. So let's control that with the toe brakes. So I'm going to turn to the right here and continue. Actually, I'm going to use high gain to get the nose around a bit quicker. We want to be nice and careful as we come off the edge of the pad here, because there's a little bit of a drop. We don't want to do it too quick, and we also want to do it at an angle. We don't want to go straight down, because otherwise we can damage the undercarriage. And there we are, we're down onto the grass. So I'm going to taxi in between all the pads here and make my way to the back of the FARP where the grass field is. And before takeoff I'll do a quick pre-takeoff briefing. And in the meantime, yeah, I'm controlling my speed as best I can with my toe brakes. So we're going to come around to the right here. Being careful not to fall off the edge of the FARP, because there is a bit of a drop there. And this is the grass field in front, running left to right. I'm just going to get centered on it as best I can, and then face down the runway so that we are in position, ready for takeoff. Okay, keep it slow so we don't use up too much of that runway. And I'm holding it on the toe brakes just now, and I'm going to continue to hold it on the toe brakes while we do our pre-takeoff, takeoff brief basically. So I'm going to check my switch positions first. So left console. On the left console we want to make sure that our nozzle stop is at 55 degrees as we briefed earlier. We're going to want to make sure that the rudder pedal shaker and yaw system is turned on. I've got my approach lighting turned on. That's basically just your takeoff landing lights. For this type of takeoff we're going to have anti-skid off and in nose wheel steering position. Flaps need to be on. The flaps mode is in STOL, and we can confirm that by taking a little look at the STO light that is illuminated here just above, and our water mode is in takeoff. So those are the basics for that side, and I'm just checking around the cockpit actually to do a final scan. Those are the kind of most important ones. We also want our altimeter mode to be in radar, and that's a little switch down here underneath the HUD, underneath the UFC in fact. You can switch between barometric and radar. Okay, master mode for the HUD, we want it to be in VSTOL, and that gives us all of the indications that we need. So importantly on here, we've got RPM in percent, we've got jet pipe temperature, nozzle position, which I can move here, and you see the flaps. This is a good test to do before takeoff. The flaps actually deploy as the nozzle goes past a certain level. So for the run-up we want nozzle at 10, and the flaps will deploy to 25 automatically. And also note we have our carette, our pull-up indicator here. So let me take you through what's going to happen during takeoff. I'm going to hold the aircraft on the toe brakes, and I'm going to advance the throttle to 70%. That's our run-up. Once we've done that, we're happy that the aircraft is stable. We're going to release the toe brakes and advance the throttle to full power. At that stage we're going to start careening down the runway. Just before we reach the end of the runway we're going to pull the nozzles all the way down until they hit the stop. That's going to give us 55 degrees of nozzle. That will bounce us off and up into the air, and we're then going to pull what's called the witch's hat which is here. This is the depressed bore sight. So actually our nose is in fact here, but the reality is the aircraft is slightly nose down when it's on the ground. And so this is the Witchie's hat that we'll use as the reference. We're going to pull the Witchie's hat all the way up to this carette, and then we're going to start smoothly reducing nozzle and also retracting the undercarriage, and just let the aircraft accelerate into conventional flight. So, let's give this a go, see if I can demonstrate it to you. I'm running up on the toe brakes. I just want to get that to 70%. If you go much more, the toe brakes won't hold. Engine indications are stable. We're off the brakes and full power, and ready with the nozzle. Okay, nozzle up, and nose up to the pull-up indicator. I'm going to take it out of full power because I don't want to use too much water, and I'm now going to start bringing the nozzles forward. Initially I want to get it to 25 degrees. There we go. I'm going to bring the gear up, and at this stage we've mostly transitioned. I'm going to bring the nozzles all the way forwards. Notice the flaps remain at 25 degrees. We're now going to push the flap mode up into auto, and we'll then lose the last of those flaps. We're going to transition into nav mode, which is our normal mode. We're now getting a master caution warning us that we've left the water turned on. We're going to turn off the water and turn off the approach lights. And at this stage, we've completed a takeoff, and the aircraft has transitioned into normal flight. I'm just going to do a quick turn and have a little look at the FARP. I'm basically just going to do a fly past of the FARP. But that is a complete takeoff. That's everything you need to do. It happens very quickly, but like I said, you want your nozzle stop wherever the VREST tells you. In this case it was 55. You're going to want to accelerate down the runway. You're going to want to pull your nozzles back to the angle that the system's told you to use. Get it airborne, gear up, start bringing the nozzles forward, and then turn off the water and put the flaps back into auto. And that is a successful takeoff, and we're now flying conventionally. That was just a short one. It's a very simple procedure. Hope you all enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.